how I made $732.65 in the month of February. Let's get into the monthly recap. It's been a while since I made a trade recap video. I believe the last recap video was posted at the end of the month of February. It seems like it's been like 2 weeks since then, just about, as I filmed this video. The past 2 weeks, I've been traveling quite a bit. Was in Vegas for a period, went to St. George, Utah, went to Zion, then it came home for 2 days. Then I went back to Utah, Salt Lake City, went to Vegas for a night, stayed there for a night, gambled, lost my money, lost $80. Then I went to Salt Lake City the next day, and then skied with my brothers up at Brighton and Solitude during the past week, which legitimately it snowed every single day. So you couldn't have beat it. The first 2 days were like kind of just like dust on top of some crust, so you kind of had to get that base. And then the second storm on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I mean, we just got that next like foot or so, foot and a half of, after it was kind of filled in to like really fill it in. So it was just soft and beautiful. It was just, oh man, it was good stuff. The last 5 days that I have snowboarded have all been POW days to some degree, varying degrees, like deep 5 inches, 10, a foot, 15, in that ballpark. Nothing crazy deep, but like it's been awesome. I don't think I can ever I've always been on the East Coast. I've officially decided after these trips I will be moving to Utah. Like that's guaranteed when I decide to move next. Now it's about like orchestrating like the logistics of it all. That's besides the point, because you probably don't give a shit about that. Maybe you do, but there's some massive updates. Here's the recap, or here's the look at the February month. I've got no trades for March, although we're 10 days in. I've got nothing there. Nothing that's caught my attention. Nothing that I'm like, oh my God, and also like market's kind of been a mess. So it's kind of worked out. You know how it always works? I always say this. If you've watched my channel for a long time, I always kind of say like, yes, somehow whenever I go away, any trip I take, the market is always out of control. Like we always dump, or it's crazy volatility. Seems like the exact same thing happened. In this case, I didn't really give a shit. I didn't care. I had nothing to lose, nothing to gain. I was just like, I'm just gonna enjoy the next week and not think about it. I checked in. Don't get me wrong, but my brother was freaking out because he's got a lot of money invested right now. He's like, oh, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, it's part of the game, right? You gotta live and learn. That was me 5 years ago. I did it. I made a lot, lost a lot. I went through the up, the down, So it's all good. Everyone's gonna learn. But let's get into this month and talk about it. Then at the end, talk about some major updates. And when I say major updates, the next trade that I take, the P&L on that next trade is going to be substantially different. Like it's going to be way, way different than the P&L that I'm used to, or that you may be used to in the trade recaps. So stay tuned for it, because what the number is going to be, you might go, holy shit, what the fuck's this guy? But I'll explain that at the end. So 732, cool. I mean, it wasn't that good. I mean, my win rate was better. But the thing is, we kind of skewed this because we took some profits on a trade or two that I could have let go back to break even, and it would have made my average win-loss look way, way better. But I didn't. I locked the gains in. I just didn't like how things looked, and we're coming up on earnings. I locked it in, and it would have ended up going break even, but I made a few bucks on it versus breaking even on it. So I was like, oh, cool. That's kind of part of it. Otherwise, not a ton of trades, not a ton of stuff to talk about. You can go back and watch all the individual recaps, because I recap every single trade in the individual recaps on the recap playlist. But this is the time to kind of look at the bigger picture and see how things shook out for the entirety of the month. So cool, nice stats, I guess, but I want this number to be higher, and on average, it will be higher. This number will probably be lower on average. It'll be down in the 40s and 50 range. Probably in the 40s, mid 40s is probably, well, not probably, that's where my last year was. So I would imagine it's going to be down near that, and this number will be up near 1.5 to 2. That's where usually it is, but this month was kind of one of those months. So let's get into kind of the reports and talk about more of this stuff here. So in terms of some of the stats, I guess I'll pop off the screen so you can see it all, so it makes it easier on the eyes, and I always forget to do that. And I always have to refilm the video. So now I'm not going to forget to do it. I'm not going to refilm the video because I'm going to do a one and done. Average hold time on all trades, 11 days, 2 hours, 26 minutes. You might be saying, holy shit, this guy's I don't even know. Average hold time on winners, 15 days, 19 hours, 24 minutes. Losing trades a day and a half, roughly. Well, a little more than that, but you get the point. So winners have taken their time to work, and the losers, you know, much faster, it seems like. That's kind of the deal. The more interesting stuff, I think, that we should get into, let's talk about the instrument. That's more fun. I'll go to the bottom 20 so you can see all the trades we took for the month. I think it would have fit the top 10 as well. Yeah, it would have been the same thing. So, but you can see a bigger picture of it. So, Citigroup, we lost on it. Nothing crazy, but we just lost. US 30, that's the Dow, lost. We had a silver or gold. Dude, honestly, still XAU, couldn't tell you what that is. Couldn't tell you. Silver or gold, I don't know. It's one of them. And the other one was break even. CrowdStrike, that was the one we had locked in $100 when it would have broken even. It would have been a $0 trade like this silver or gold. But I locked this in because I just didn't like how things were looking, and it ended up being a good call. NVIDIA, we had a trade there. I think it was a day trade actually on that one. We had a nice win on the day trade. Just took the one day trade this month. Nothing else. Robinhood had 2 trades, made decent chunk of change on that, and then Netflix had a trade. I say 2 trades because it was on the trade copier, so it says 4, but it really was 2. Same as Netflix. It says 2, but it really was 1. That one made the most money on the Netflix trade. Had a nice win on that one. It really worked pretty well. But what I think is more important is to dive into, hey, I made no mistakes. I mean, you can get nitpicky, but like I legitimately just did what I normally do. It's not about like, it's not crazy. Nothing crazy there. Custom tags is where it gets more fun. So let's talk about this. So I'll get to setups next. So time frames. So I traded pretty much all the time frames I traded on, I made money, which is good. The 1 hour chart, I did not. I had 2 trades on the 1 hour chart, I think, at least. And because it says 4, so I'm assuming trade copy or 2. But we ended up losing $48 in that. No big deal. Daily time frame, we made money on that. Good. That's been a good stat. 1 week. Don't have a ton of trades on that in the bigger picture, but we made money on that. The most money actually there, which is good. Because I want to see, like, I want to keep hope. I hope that the 1 week and the 1 day continue to confirm what they did from last year, which they were like telling me like, yo, these are good time frames. 4 hour break even, and then the 5 minute. My goal for this year really on the 5 minute is, last year I traded so many times in the 5 minute, and I ended up just breaking even pretty much throughout the entirety of the year. I had so many trades. My views now is to only trade the 5 minute under certain circumstances when we have high momentum and the bigger time frames are aligning, or it's a really big momentum day, kind of the day that we had on Monday the 10th, because it was a huge red day. I didn't trade the Monday the 10th, but days where we have like massive momentum, those are the types of days where it's like, it's almost like, I don't want to say it's on easy mode, but it's a higher probability, I should say. Not easy mode. It's a higher probability that we will win versus try to trade all the time and choppiness and different environments. So it's being more selective on the 5 minute time frame and using it more sparingly. But when we use it with intention, and we look to make money, and we don't look to sit there and just kind of do nothing and jerk off on the charts, because that's what ends up happening, I think. Or that's what kind of happened a lot last year sometimes, where it's like you kind of force stuff and you didn't have to. So that's good. Setups, we had a bear flag. We had a win on that, or a couple actually on that net. I shouldn't say a couple. We had a 40 or a 60%, a 66% win rate on that, 2/3. And then we had about a 60-40 split on the bull flags in terms of our win rate there, which is cool. Great. Not surprising. This is kind of just really, I call it bull flag, call it bear flag. It's my way I've envisioned them. When I see them, maybe it's different how you view things. Horizontal breaks. I want to see a move up or move down, consolidate for a period of time, horizontal break on higher volume. That's what I want to see. If I get it, boom, we'll play it. If we don't get it, we don't trade it. That's simple as that. And that's really all it was. So nothing crazy on that front, but, great. More bull flags and bears because we've been going up. Now, of course, the past 2 weeks, we have not. Market's getting crushed. But I also haven't been trading these past 2 weeks very much. Actually, I did. If I go back to this chart, let's go back to our calendar or our dashboard. The 427 on the 27th, this day right here, this is the NVIDIA short. So, boom, that was a bear flag right there. So kind of at the beginning of like this bigger pullback we've been seeing. So what's the update going forward, and what's the big change that we're going to see? Well, going forward, like I kind of said at the end of last year or into the beginning of this year, whatever, I've been saying like, hey, we're going to start scaling up the prop firm kind of game because I've been playing with the prop firms or trading with the prop firms. And I think it's time to scale them up. I'll make a more detailed video of this. I actually have a plan to do so. And I went out and I bought the biggest accounts I could buy. They had a deal. They had a new deal going on at the prop firm that I've actually had the best experience with. They're all going to have their ups, their downs. I don't really care to get too deep into it all, but I bought two $200,000 accounts. So I essentially bought $400,000 worth of funding, and they are instant funding accounts. There's asterisks to that, but technically speaking, I don't have to go through a challenge phase. Once I make 5%, I believe, I can start withdrawing profits. Cool. So technically there's a 5% threshold. But your downside is tighter. So all I have to do is just size my positions accordingly to make the sizing smaller. And that's it. But then I technically have those two accounts. One of them I will use for crypto, indexes, gold, silver, oil, and the other one is for stocks. They have a mobile app for them now, so I can do it all from my phone. I do not have to be on my computer when the trades potentially are enter or exit the trades, which is great. Usually I'm never on my computer for when I exit. Usually I'm just on there for when I enter. In the past, the platform they were using was not on your phone. They didn't have a mobile app, so it was a pain in the ass. This one's better. Great, cool, whatever. But yes, so I will be attaching a trade copier to all the current accounts that I have, which is not a lot. I have a $10,000 funded. I have a $25,000 account, and I have two $25,000 accounts, a $10,000, and I have a $6,000, which I haven't really used. It's more for testing purposes. I have all those. I never lost one of them. So all the accounts I bought in the past, I still have. But I really just trade the 10,000 and the two 25,000s. I'll be attaching a trade copier to them, and I will probably continue to trade the same size accounts I've been trading, and then just have the copier do the work for the bigger accounts, and that's that. So it's gonna now say that I have a lot more trades. Like each trade will be like 2 or 3 because of the copier. But the numbers will be higher, obviously. They'll just be scaled up proportionally to a degree. So yeah, when the next trades occur, they'll be bigger, and people will probably be more interested in that. Is that why I'm doing it? No, because why I'm doing it is because now it's like, well, how do we actually make money from this? Well, if I make 15% in a year, or if I make 10% in a year, how do I make money from that? Like, how do I actually, you know what I mean? Like, make substantial money? Well, 10% on 25K is not going to do much. 10% on 200K, now we're talking, more money. That's kind of why I'm doing it. Not kind of why, that's literally why. It's how the game works. So that I can then build up my own accounts and then leave the prop firm space and do my own thing with my own accounts once I have solid capital that I'm happy to trade with and pay off all my debt, which is very nicely, slow and steadily. We're just chipping away. That'll be a whole video in and of itself. I'll talk about a lot of that stuff because it is a thing, like, as a kid who's going to college, as someone who's like, going to college during that time frame, I think there's a lot of value in learning from someone who got or had a pretty negative experience initially, but then just figured it out, worked through it, and now we're getting rid of it and moving on to the next phase of life. That's kind of the thing. It's like I'm not really planning to move yet. Real estate's kind of crazy. I would like to buy, and put a down payment on a property or probably a townhome when I move into Utah. But also, it's like market's kind of up there. If we get a nice pullback in the real estate market, like to a degree over the next year or so, I'll be interested. If we don't, if rates stay kind of high and market stays kind of high, I'll be renting for the near term just because it's more worth it to me. But that's the plan. So all that factored in, my plan is I'm gonna try to make some, I don't know, maybe more interesting videos, with the kind of like more of like the process, the journey, if you will, more of a detailed, more of like an intimate type of setting with the videos, and just kind of film over the course of like days and weeks when I have enough stuff to put together into one video, put it together. So it's like a little bit more of a detailed, a little more of a behind the scenes view than like the recaps. Recaps are great because I just I'm going just raw. This is like for me in the future to watch and be like, but those videos be a bit more of like, I want to call it a vlog, I don't know, but something like that, maybe a bit more interesting. So we'll see how it goes. But my plan is to document that a bit better because I want to. Not because I'm getting paid to do it very much at all, actually. This channel probably makes me like a few $100 a month max. Not even. Like ad revenue, not even close. Maybe affiliates, I don't know, here and there. If you do sign up for TradeZilla, I get a commission. So that's how I make some money. But I have a lot of other stuff going on nowadays. So we've been busy. Busy times, not bad. It's not a bad thing. Trading has kind of been more of a, swing trading approach. Not because it's, not necessarily because I'm doing bad. I'm doing fine, I think. But the data is just telling me to just play the swings, and now it's a matter of just sizing it up. Simple as that. Sizing up the swings, trade with more money, optimize a little bit here and there, continue to get better, improve, learn, adapt, grow, and that's the deal. Any links, resources are down below. TradeZilla, code TC10, saves you 10%. It also gets me, I think, a 30% commission. I don't know. So if you ever use my code or my link, I appreciate you. Yeah, you're pretty cool. And I use it, and I pay for it. I still pay for it. They don't give me it for free. So thanks so much for watching the recap, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.